Hello, everyone. So, it's a new day. Morning has broken. The dawn has arisen. Joy comes in the morning. I can't think of anything else. Please show yourselves. If you are here, please say hello in the chats. For those of you who are joining for the very, very, very first time, welcome, and a special welcome for those of you who are watching this replay because we usually hold our sessions on Fridays. So this is a little bit different, which is great because God has changed and everything, right? Okay, so I'm going to be doing a little hello in a second, but I just want to let you know like a couple of things. So number one, what I'm going to be doing in each of these. Oh, let me just start in a polite way. I just got back from work. So I'm just like, whew, okay. So number one, my name is Njeri. You are watching Onyx Pages, where we are all things Black, speculative Black science fiction and fantasy. And you are watching the Octavia E. Butler slow reading sessions. So since we are beginning a whole new series, I wanted to just take a minute to reset and let everyone know what this is if you haven't been involved before. So the Octavia E. Butler slow read was an idea that I had in the midst of the panoramic. And I thought, you know what? Let's all read the panorama, the Pandora, the Panini, the Pancreas. You know what's been happening around the world. And I thought, you know what, wouldn't it be amazing if we all around the world read Octavia E. Butler together? Wouldn't that be amazing? And so I was joined by Isis from SistahSciFi and Tatiana from Musical Tati. And we decided that we would read all of Octavia E. Butler's books in near chronological order for 2 years, because why not? We can do whatever we want. So that's what we have been doing. We started off with her very first published book, which is Kindred, and then we leapt right into a series. So we read the Patternist series, which was Wild Seed, Mind of My Mind, Clay's Arc, Survivor, and Pattern Master. So we have finished 6 of Octavia E. Butler's books. So this particular slow read is really special because it's kind of like, you know, when you play double dutch and you're looking for that time to sort of jump in, this is definitely a jumping in point for people who didn't want to join us in the middle of a series, which makes complete sense. This is a great opportunity to get back in there. So I'm very, 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 very excited that we are starting Dawn. Dawn is an amazing, amazing, amazing book. So I am going to extend an invitation to anyone who would like to join me on camera for tonight's session. Please, you are invited to do so. I am going to put the link. My only thing is if we haven't met or I think you're a robot, we're not going to do it. But other than that, you're completely invited. I see some very familiar faces and I'm going to do some shout outs in a second. So just get cozy. We're going to get into it. So for those of you who are in the chats, please introduce yourself if you haven't already. If you're comfortable, let us know where you are reading from and if this is your first time reading Dawn. And if it's your not first time reading Dawn, then how many times have you read it? And for everyone, how are you feeling jumping into a new series and jumping into Dawn? So I would like to say some hellos. So hi, I'm not sure if it's Saida, if it's Sarah. I think that's all. Saida, or Sarah. How do you say your name? Welcome. Hello again, Gina. Nice to see you back. Hey, Cache. Oh, okay. Totally excited that you're back. I think that's what you're saying. So glad you're here. Hello, Jersey fam. I'm glad you're here. And hi, Juanita Nesbitt. Hello. Hello, Regina Renee. I'm so happy that you're back. And you first read Dawn in high school. Oh, that's amazing. That's so good. Okay, awesome. And yes, haven't read Dawn, but you want to for sure. Cool. So we got some new folks. Hello, Geraldine. Welcome back. You've been with us for every single one. That's awesome. Hey, Whitney. Oh, you're here for the Dawn. Yay. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for this. And Dr. KVP, hello. So you read Dawn decades ago, wishing the Oankali and Ulai would show up Uloi would show up tomorrow. I mean, they would have some fun. They'd be like, COVID-19, that virus is really good for blah, blah, blah. Yes, so Phoenix, the Xenogenesis trilogy is amazing. You love Octavia Butler. We lost her far too soon. Phoenix, I absolutely agree. That's the link. Again, so for anyone who would like to join and do be on camera for the read, would be wonderful. And yes, I've missed us too. I have. Syra, beautiful. Thank you. All right, you're ready to read along. Cool, Gina. All right. Reading from New York. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you again. Okay, Mount Prospect. I don't know where that is. Is that bad? That might be a little ignorant. Sorry. But hello. Okay, everyone. My book is over there. So I'm going to grab it. And while I grab it, please let me know what you're thinking for a first sprint. So for those of you who are new, the way that we do this is we have a sort of like it's a comfortable reading guide, although the pace is going to be a little bit faster because we're reading on this Wednesday. So today, again, we're meeting on Friday and then we're meeting on Saturday. So we're going to read the book together over 3 sessions. Each session is going to consist of a number of reading sprints. And a reading sprint is when I set a timer and we all read silently at our own pace for an agreed upon amount of time. Usually sprints are no shorter than 15 minutes and no longer than 45 minutes. We typically start with about 20 minutes and then we build up. Some people feel like when we start a new series, they like to just have a shorter first sprint of maybe like 15 minutes just to get a feel for the first moment, like the first 10 pages or so. So I'm thinking I want to start with a short 15-minute sprint. So while I grab my book, in the chats, just say how long you would like for the first sprint. I'm thinking either 15, 20 or 25 minutes. So just type that in the chat. I'm going to get my wine and my book, and I'll be back in like 30 seconds, and then we'll see what the majority wants, and then we will start our first sprint for our first book for our second series. See you in a sec. Should probably also... Oh, and remember, for those of you who are annotating, get your tools, get your reading journal, get whatever you need in order to take your notes for the things that you want to talk about at the slow read on Sunday. All right. Thank you for the wine. Thank you. So we have 20. Okay, 20. Great. All right. So here we go. I am going to put, this is I'm shadowed. We can't have that. I need to be illuminated. Okay, I'll figure out my light. But this is a version that I'm reading. I love the cover art. So here we go. Okay, let me find a timer I'll share the screen for a 20-minute timer, and we will start reading. Let's get something. Ooh, I mean, this could be Dawn, but let's see. It's got ambient music. But not on the job. The risk has always been there. Okay, share screen. Okay, and you should see the screen that I'm sharing. All right, I'm just gonna take it right back to 20 minutes. So happy reading, everyone. See you in 20 minutes for our first sprint for Dawn. All right. So that was our first. Let me move this a little bit so we can get a little bit more light. Here we are. So that was our first sprint of Dawn. So what we usually do for those of you who are new is I usually ask questions after the sprints. So my first question is, what page are you on? And what is the what's the mood of the story for you right now? So what page are you on and what is the mood of the story? So I'll answer the question. So right now I am on page 11. I'm on page 11. And this is the version of the book that I'm reading. So I'm on page 11. And I am right now feeling very tense. I'm feeling tense. That's the mood of the like story for me right now. And then also, I'm also just in awe of Octavia E. Butler's writing, the starkness of it, and how immediately like she drops us right into the point of view of her character and gets us to sort of feel what's going on. So right now I'm like, I first got a sense of, you know, when you have a really, 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 really deep sleep and you get up, maybe it's you're sleeping in an environment that's unusual for you or new for you, and you sort of wake up, or you had a really, really, really horrible experience and you're sleeping and you wake up and you're just a little bit disoriented for that period of time. At first, it's unclear like what Lilith is waking up to. And of course, like I've read the book, so I sort of have a sense, but just that first couple of lines, it could just sort of be anything, right? Like she could just be waking up from a bad night, waking up hungover, waking up after, like, you don't really know what's going on. And, for a minute there, before we understand what this waking up, what this awakening is for her, there is something a little bit recognizable about her disorientation from my perspective. And then we get just like right into this experience that she's in. Like, we know that there's a war, there's reference to a war. We know that she's alone in this space, that there are others who have been communicating with her and that who control her. There's a lot that's happening to her in this moment, and there's a cruelty to it, and there's more. Like, there's a scientific-y, experimenty kind of, energy to it. And we learn a little bit, I'd forgotten that we learn a little bit about her family that gets established really early. And yeah, so this is sort of where I'm at right now. I'm totally there. I can totally see the room. I can smell it, all of the things. So let's see what others are saying. So what page are you on and how do you feel? I also need to plug in my laptop because it's giving me that warning. So 1 second. Okay. Let's see what others are saying. So, okay. Oh, Juanita, you met Octavia Butler twice, and she's an awesome person. I can imagine. Oh, these are just pages, not these are amounts of time, not pages. Okay. Syra, page 26, and it's very tense and frightening, I think. You're in the middle of chapter 3. Okay. Yeah, tense and frightening. I also made a note, like, what is, like, reading it now during COVID-19. I know we're all in different parts of the world. Some of us went through very strict quarantining and, just that sense of quarantine, isolation, not being able to leave, coercion, like that's all there. Hello, all. You're on page. Hi, Alba. Page 28. You're intrigued and curious. Yes. Page 18. Uneasy. Okay. So we've got tense, frightened, intrigued, curious, uneasy. You're on page 15. Desperate. Yes. Page 15. Tense and frightened. Okay. Yeah, 15, desperate. You're on page 13, terrifying. And you're not sure what page you're on. Okay, you're reading on your Kindle and it doesn't have a page, but you're intrigued. Okay. So, there's a couple of us are feeling intrigued. A couple of us are feeling sort of curious. A couple of us are feeling sort of tense and frightened. So one of the things that Octavia E. Butler does in all of her writing is that she encourages us to ask questions about our circumstances, right? So as we read Dawn, I think it's important to think about what relevance this story has for us right now, today, in our lives. So I think that's something that I would encourage you to think about. And one more thing that I'd like you to do in the chat before we go to our next sprint is just answer the question. So wherever you are in your reading right now, what do you want for Lilith? So what do you want for Lilith right now? Or another way of thinking about it, if you were Lilith, what would you want for yourself? So wherever you are in the first couple of pages, what is your desire for Lilith? Okay. And while you do that, I think it would be wise to have like a half an hour sprint, like a good, juicy, long amount of time to read together uninterrupted. And I'm going to read now the blurb at the back of the book. and this is for the benefit of those of you who are watching the replay. When Lilith Iapo wakes from a deep sleep, she finds herself aboard a vast spaceship haunted by confused memories of a nuclear war that ravaged the world. She discovers that she is being held by the Oankali, a seemingly benevolent alien race that intervened in the human race's extinction, rescuing the survivors from their ruined planet and placing them in a coma-like sleep for centuries. Now the restored Earth is ready for inhabitants, and the Oankali want Lilith to help awaken the rest of the survivors and rebuild humankind. But the Oankali have needs of their own, and salvation comes at a price. Soon Lilith must choose how much of humanity she is willing to sacrifice for the future of her race. Now, I think something that is really interesting about this blurb is this is just one story, right? That is just one person's idea of what Dawn is about. And I'm not sure I buy into that. I'm not sure that that's what Dawn's about. So right now, for me, Dawn is the story of a Black woman waking up into captivity and making decisions around her own survival. And we already see her deciding whether she's going to bargain, thinking about healing, thinking about adapting, thinking about resisting, and just trying to figure out how to survive. So what do we want for Lilith? Regina Renee, I want Lilith to feel empowered. Dr. KVP, acceptance and peace. Abba, I want Lilith's questions answered. Jersey Femme, is it Latrice? I'm sorry, I forget your name. I want Lilith to gain some control and knowledge of her captors and start piecing together what's going on. Let's just get into it. I want her to be released and safe. If I was Lilith, I would want answers and to have a solution for my circumstances. Answers and agency. I would want her to be able to be free and see Sharad again. Yeah. Hi, Maria. I would want autonomy, true choice. Okay, good. Cool. Empowered. You'd want her to be empowered. Hello, Cheyenne. I think you're new. Welcome. I want Lilith's transition to be smooth since she is confused and hurt mentally. Okay. All right, everyone. So I'm going to find a 30-minute timer, and that's going to be our next amount of time to read. So definitely get comfortable. I'm going to turn my camera off for this one because I want to get into more comfortable clothes, and we don't know each other well enough for you to see all of that business. So how about, there we go. I'll get this. Oh. One second. All right. Okay, so, oops. Nice 30 minutes. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this right back so we get the full benefit of the 30 minutes. And happy reading, everyone. See you in half an hour.
Dreaming of more sleep? Try Nature's Bounty Sleep 3, a modified release.
Ooh, okay. All right, everyone. So let us report. What page are you on? And now, in addition to telling me what page you're on, what has happened? What is happening right now? And I will say for people who are participating in this, in the slow reading sessions for the very first time, we are reading together, and there are a couple of things we kind of take for granted. So one thing that we take for granted is that we might have sort of mini spoilers, because even though we're reading together, we read at different paces. And so we just want to be sort of gentle with ourselves and gentle with each other, that someone might inadvertently mention something that happens on the next page and you might not be aware of it. And so we don't apologize for spoilers here, because it is kind of what we're doing, right? The idea is to sort of experience things together. Although some of the faster readers who might have read like several chapters before might just kind of not share what they're talking about, or if they're a book ahead, might not share where they are, out of respect for the fact that we are on this particular book. So it's that, all that is to say that it's fair game to share where you're at, which is what I had asked. So I was hoping to get right like to the end of chapter 3, but I literally have like this much left. So I am on page 27 of chapter 3. And what's happening right now is Lilith is in the chamber with Jedediah, and she is learning more about them and learning more about her captivity. So she's getting information about her captivity, and she is starting to understand what is expected of her right now. And Jedediah has explained that, you know, in order that it's there to acclimatize her to the Oankali, and that one of the important first steps is that she look at it, that she come closer and look at it. And I'm noticing that as I read, I'm obviously annotating. So if you know me, you know that I write in my books. So I'll just show you some of my annotations. But some of the things that I'm noticing are that, like, there are moments in the book where I'm reading the words and I'm like, you know what is being said right now actually applies to other circumstances, right? So when she describes this like fear that she has of it and this revulsion that she experiences, and it's interesting to see how she describes that and then also what she does about it. And when she says, like, at one point she says like this, I had heard people talk about xenophobia and like, but I'd never really experienced having a xenophobic reaction, and here I am. So I'm really happy to be back I'm very happy to be back in this world, very much. Okay, let's see what folks are saying. All right, so there's music in the background. Let's get rid of that. Okay. All right. So yes, you're new. Welcome. I think I said that already. So welcome again. Phoenix. Yes, definitely. Thank you for being so welcoming. Ria Usagi. Happy reading. Thank you. Hello, Alicia. Happy that you're here. Thanks for being welcoming. All right. So sad that you didn't get far. She's talking with Jediah. That's where I am as well. It's all good, not a race. It's cool. Page 28. So Lilith in conversation with Jediah. So that's where you are. Cool. Geraldine, same. We've got some reading twins. Page 22. Lilith is having trouble accepting Jediah. Does anyone feel like Butler uses it the way we use they, them? How do other people feel about using that? That's a really interesting question. I don't think so. I actually think we're going to have a lot of conversations about like gender and gender expectations, especially when Lilith is like, sorry, one of the first things I want to know is what is your sex, right? And then she assumes a binary. But one thing that I've learned from trans readers is that it is really, really problematic that in science fiction and fantasy, the majority of times that we deal with characters that don't have that aren't gendered or sexed on a binary is when we're dealing with extraterrestrials. That is a trend in science fiction, and that it's really, really problematic that we have conversations about pronouns when we're talking about non-human characters. And so I am very resistant to connecting the idea of like non-binary pronouns or pronouns that trans individuals might use to holding those pronouns in the same conversation as the use of it in the context of a non-human being. So I'm glad that you asked the question, but so far I think the use of it refers to species rather than they, them, which refers to human beings along the gender spectrums. So that is my thought. I'm also not an expert in this area, but I think as a cisgender person, it's important to sort of take up space with other cisgender people and be mindful about how we approach topics like gender and gender identity in science fiction. It's kind of like when those white writers they would never have any black characters. The only characters of color were aliens and animals, but they didn't actually have people of color. So anything colored was actually an animal. I think that there have been trends around how science fiction addresses gender that are really problematic. So I hope that answers your thought. And okay, so all right. Like to hear other thoughts on that too. 20 fleshy hole in the wall. That's all I read, and my mind went places. Phoenix, I think it's pretty rude referring to a person as it, not what love should she have for them, taking her prisoner and all is be rude AF too. Okay. I mean, I struggle with like, I really identify with her trying to figure out how to manage her rage, her fear, like all of the emotions that are running through her. I'm glad that Butler encourages us to actually like look at that. So gotcha. Yeah, totally. 46. Lilith is discovering the world around her with Jediah. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I'm kind of rooting for her to do whatever she needs to do in order to like get out. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Page 26. Overcoming her fear in a sense is right. Touch me here now. Like Jedi, oh, there's so much creep. I know that Jediah uses it too, so I wondered if he thinks of it that way when referring to someone is neither male nor female, but I always found it offensive. Okay. Yeah, he's a trip and he can be scary, but you love him. Phoenix, are we shipping you with Jediah? Is that what's happening? That's really early to be shipped with a character. I think the way Butler thinks about gender and queerness is definitely part of it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even when we were reading the Patternist series, there was some like queer phobia stuff. Maria, you'll recall we had conversations about like queer phobia and transphobia in some of the latter books in the series. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. Love Jediah. Okay, so I don't know how many times I've read Dawn. This is at least my second. It might be my third. But I also remember really enjoying Jediah and enjoying like the way that I gender Jediah as a he, but how I don't, what pronoun should I use for Jediah? Well, Jediah uses he. What? I'll have to think about. Yeah, he. Well, Butler uses he, so I'm going to use he. But that's really interesting. Anyway, I found it really amusing to see when he was amused. That's all I was really trying to say. Is it just me, or is there some sexual tension on Jediah's end? Oh my God, we're already going there to sexual tension? I mean, it's a bit of a setup, right? Like you're in a room with this alien creature that's like, come closer and look at me, stay close to me, look at me. You need to become familiar with me before, like I think that there's certainly like the fixings of sexual tension, but she's captive. She is locked in a room and has to get out. And listen, frankly, I mean, some might say by any means necessary. She has a goal. She needs to get out of that damn room. So I don't know, like the power relationship is so imbalanced here and she is captive. So what would you do to get out? And yes. 28, talking with Jediah, found out that she had a cancer removed. Yes. All right. Alba, definitely a power imbalance for sure. I mean, Octavia E. Butler, everything's a power and imbalance, right? Which makes sense because everything is. Okay, we are going to do another sprint. Now, in terms of where we were right now, my hope was we would be able to make it to the end of womb, part 1 at least. So for me, that is another 30 pages. So how much time do you want for this? I think this is going to be our last sprint. Yes, it's going to be our last sprint. It's a Wednesday, y'all. So do you want 30 minutes or 45 minutes? Those are the two options, 30 minutes or 45. 30 minutes means we would sprint till 9 Eastern, 45, 9:15 Eastern, with the goal of, so the goal for this sprint was to get to finish part 1, womb, and to maybe get a little bit into part 2. What would you like, 30 or 45? 45. Yes, Whitney, it's a Wednesday. I know there's some Sunday feels, but it legit is a Wednesday. 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, all right. Don't have to scream. So 30 minutes it is. Let me do that. Everybody else is like, it is a Wednesday. Why are you giving us Sunday options? Okay, so 30-minute timer. And and we won't do as much chatting after. So this will be our last sprint, and we'll do a very brief feedback situation. What did I just do here? Hold on. One thing at a time. Oh, how about, oh, that's trippy. So, oh, this is kind of an, oh, yes, why not? Okay. Oh, sorry, that was 45. Please hold or start reading. Okay, happy reading, y'all. All right, so that was the end of our final sprint of the evening. So we're not going to do like a longer chat. I would like to direct your attention to the comments. Latrice made some really interesting comments about Binti in this novel, and I think the aliens in Binti were called the Meduse, but I'm not sure. Yes, the tentacles and the... Okay, I like that. I get it. That's cool. Okay, so what I would ask you to do is just let us know where you're at right now, but use like your reference point as use chapters as your reference point as well as pages. So right now I am on page 51, right? So I have finished, this is the last, I finished Womb, and I am going to be starting part 2, Family. I stopped because I kind of sometimes like just thinking about a part. So I've read Womb. I'm ready to get going on Friday, starting part 2. And hopefully I'll finish all of part 2 on Friday. That would be really great, or maybe more, because that leaves me only halfway through the book and we have to finish by Sunday. All right, so what page are you on? Where are you at in terms of the chapters? And like, what's your favorite thing? It can be a character, it could be a part of the setting, it could be a line. What's your favorite thing so far? And once we get all that, we will say goodbye. While you're putting in your page, chapter, and favorite thing into the chat, just a couple of things. Consider whether you would like to join me on Friday in the actual like StreamYard platform. So you would be on camera. So I will throw out the invitation. I'll throw out the invitation as we go along. But think about if you'd like to join me, because I will invite you to join me on Friday, so you have some advance warning. Also, currently we have Regina Renee. I'm hoping you'll be able to join us as a group leader for Sunday. But if you are interested in being one of the people who facilitate discussion at the live show, please let us know. You can just put it in the chats and I'll reach out to you, or you can put it in the comments of the YouTube video once this goes up for replay, or you can email me, and my email can be found in the About tab of Onyx Pages. So my email address is basically onyxpages.booktube@gmail.com. So if you're interested in being one of the facilitators for a small group on Sunday, please let us know. Okay, so we're going to look at your comments and then we'll close for the evening. So I really like the connection you made, Latrice, between Binti and Dawn. So yes, the alien friend that Binti had, I forget its name, but the alien species was called the Medusa, I believe. So very, very good connection. I totally get that. Didn't see it. All right. Yeah, and they do change her without her consent, and there are tentacles involved. So you're in the middle of chapter 5, but you'll be ready for part 2 on Friday. Sounds great. Ended on page 41, chapter 5. All right. So far you're loving Lilith's discovery of everything around her and her reactions. I find it fascinating. You know what, as you say that, so one of the first things that Lilith notices when she leaves well, I'll just say that there's a mention of colors. And I wrote the colors down, I think, or highlighted them. But anyway, there's a sentence. Yeah, there's a sentence where colors are mentioned: green, red, orange, yellow. And I just noticed that this cover has green, red, and yellow, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, actually, no, green, red, orange, and gold. So yeah, cool. Good use of color. Jediah is telling Lilith about how she will learn about their world and teach it to others. Almost done with the womb. Awesome. Page 53, chapter 2, and family. I like Lilith's persistence. Yes. Dr. KVP. Near the middle of the last chapter preceding family, favorite thing, the living ship that grows everything it and its inhabitants need to survive, especially Las Frutas. Syra, part 2, chapter 5. Page 73, favorite thing concept is food and its connections to Lilith's happiness and pleasure. Regina Renee, part 2, chapter 4, page 69, love Lilith's honesty with herself. Awesome. And Alba, page 54, meeting family. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. This has been a really wonderful start to Dawn and an amazing start to the Xenogenesis/Lilith's Brood series, the second series during the Octavia Butler. For everybody who's watching the replay, thank you for reading along with us. I hope you'll have the opportunity to get your tickets for the live show on Sunday. And remember to read with purpose and to read Octavia E. Butler slowly and luxuriously. I will see you on Friday, and I'll be starting from part 2. So if you want to read along at my pace and you're not at the beginning of part 2, the next couple of days, try to catch up to part 2. And if you want to pace with me, you can do so. All right, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you in a couple days. Bye.